People think they need to pay premium prices for great schools, new construction, and resort-style amenities, but in Virginia, you don't have to. There's one suburb where you can get all three without breaking the bank. It's been a bit of a hidden gem up until now, but that's about to change in a big way, and not because of this video. Midlothian, Virginia has recently transformed from a quiet suburb to a major growth center. And today we're going to show you exactly why, what it means for buyers, sellers, investors, and you. This hidden gem won't stay hidden for long. Now, let us start with the numbers that show Midlothian's true growth. The current population sits at 23,904, but that's just a number. Where it gets crazy is when you realize that's a 32.4% increase since 2020. To put that into perspective, most suburbs celebrate 5 to 10% growth over that same period of 5 years. So Midlothian is growing 3 times faster than that. We're also looking at an annual growth rate of 7.14%, which means there's no one-year fluke from pandemic moves. This is steady, consistent growth year after year, and it's showing no signs of stopping. Now the question is, who's really moving here? The median household income in Midlothian tells the whole story. It's $105,927 to be exact, which is slightly above the Virginia average of $90,000. What this means is simple. These aren't people getting pushed out of expensive areas. These are people with choices who are actively picking Midlothian. And the billion-dollar developments we're going to talk about later on is just one of the reasons behind those moves. But before that, let's talk about home values. The median home value just hit $475,000 in July, according to realtor.com. That's up 2% from the last year. This is obviously great news for current homeowners, but it's also great for buyers. We're seeing steady growth, which makes it a great investment. One of the best parts of Midlothian is that it has something for everyone. Entry-level homes, first-time home buyers, move-up properties for growing families, and luxury options for established buyers. But here's the real story behind these numbers. Midlothian's hit a tipping point. More families move in, which brings more businesses. More businesses creates more jobs, and more jobs attract more families. That's sustainable growth, and it's just getting started. And sure, it's nice to see who's moving here, but the real story is what's being built here. And that's where we get to the billion-dollar investments. But before we do, make sure you subscribe to our channel. I break down every new development, market shift, and infrastructure project that affects Richmond. So if you want to be on top of what's coming soon, make sure you subscribe. Now, let's get back to it. As for that billion, it's actually more than that. There's over $1 billion in development that's reshaping this suburb right now. And these are major projects that are changing everything. First up, let's talk about the Air at Westchester. This one's massive. We're talking more than 2,200 new homes, but it's not just houses. H.H. Hunt is building townhomes, condos, and apartments all in one community. They're also adding 180,000 square feet of commercial space, plus parks and trails throughout the neighborhood. Here's the timeline that matters. Phase 1's under construction right now. First home should be ready by late 2025. So if you're looking for new construction, you won't have to wait years to move in. Then there's the Spring Line at District 60. This project represents a complete $1 billion transformation all on its own. They're taking the old Spring Rock Green Shopping Center and creating something totally different. That means more than 1,200 places to live, 120,000 square feet of retail, 300,000 square feet of office space, hotels, entertainment, and something called Celebration Park, which is the new flagship green space development that'll become the central hub for this community. The first phase wraps up in 2025. This includes 298 apartments and 28,000 square feet of retail space. What makes this special is the walkability factor. You can live, work, shop, and play all in the same area. But more on that later. There's also Hamlet Falling Creek. This one targets a specific need. This is a 260-unit luxury rental community. But here's what's different. Instead of typical apartments, they're building cottages, duplexes, and townhomes. The amenities include pools, fitness centers, and dog parks, with completion set for late 2025. This project's perfect for people who want single-family living but aren't ready to buy yet. And finally, we have Midlothian Depot. This mixed-use development brings together a Whole Foods, the first in Midlothian, retail, restaurants, and apartments. They're including green spaces and a dog park too. Site work starts this fall, and we're looking at completion sometime between 2025 and 2026. But the truth is, none of this works without the right infrastructure. All of this development would go nowhere without the infrastructure to support it. So what's Midlothian working with? To put it simply, a $37 million infrastructure project is future-proofing this community. The Whole Street Route 360 project started in April 2025, and this isn't just fixing potholes. They're completely redesigning how this road works for everyone. We're talking about dedicated bike lanes, better crosswalks, improved sight lines at intersections, plus upgraded drainage systems to handle all the new development. They're adding new sidewalks that actually connect to trail networks, enhanced lighting for safety and aesthetics, and landscaping with native plants that need less water and less maintenance. The project finishes in 2027, And guess what? All that funding, it comes from federal, state, and local sources combined. And that tells you something important. All levels of government are betting on Midlothian's future. You don't see this kind of coordinated investment unless there's real confidence in the long-term growth. But road improvements are just the start. Every new development now has connectivity requirements, greenway corridors, sidewalks, and shared youth paths that are mandatory. And this represents a huge shift in how suburbs are being built today. Instead of isolated neighborhoods connected only by car, everything has to link together. These greenway corridors do multiple things at once. They provide recreation for residents, they create natural buffers between different developments, and they manage stormwater better than traditional drainage. Plus, they preserve green space. Then there's something called ZOMOD. It sounds weird, but that's because it stands for Zoning Ordinance Modernization. Chesterfield County basically rewrote the rules for how things are getting built. The new ordinance modernizes land use regulations. It increases housing types developers can build, which makes some of these smaller developments more appealing to developers to take on because there's just more options in what they can do with the property. And it requires amenity spaces in every new development. What that means is simple. Developers can't just throw up cookie cutter houses anymore. They have to create actual communities with walking paths, green spaces, and amenities that improve quality of life. And I just love this. I think this is going to make these apartment complex developments much more interesting visually, and I think it's going to make living in these complexes themselves just so much more enjoyable. And the ability for these developers to do a lot of housing variety within one development will be a requirement that's huge for market stability. Instead of neighborhoods with only one similar home at one similar price, now developers can more easily build new developments where there can be a mix of townhomes, single-family homes, condos, and apartments. This creates more diverse neighborhoods and more options for buyers at different life stages. The amenity requirements ensure every development adds something valuable. Tot lots for families with young kids, dog parks for pet owners, fitness trails for active adults. These spaces create connection between neighbors, and they make these neighborhoods more desirable places to live. The resort level amenities also help, but we'll cover those in just a second. Now, let's talk about schools. When it comes to schools, Midlothians are outperforming state averages across the board. The Greater Midlothian region has 26 public schools. PublicSchoolReview.com gives Midlothian schools an average ranking of 7 out of 10. That puts them in the top 50% statewide. Some schools in the area receive strong recognition for their programs and community support, including Alberta Smith Elementary, Betty Weaver Elementary, and Woolridge Elementary. But Chesterfield County doesn't just have solid accredited schools across the board. They've also got magnet and specialty programs that make the district stand out. There's the Math and Science High School at Clover Hill for STEM, Code RVA for computer science, and the Governor School Options for art and tech. Those programs bring students from all over and add another layer of recognition for the area. Now, even if schools aren't on your personal radar, they still matter when it comes to real estate. Neighborhoods connected to schools with strong reputations tend to attract steady demand, and steady demand is what helps protect home values through the ups and the downs. When it's time to sell, being near schools that people talk about, whether for academics, STEM, or arts, can give your property that extra edge. So yeah, education may put Midlothian on the map for a lot of people, but the real secret, it's the lifestyle. Green spaces, restaurants, and a community vibe that keep people here long term. Midlothian's being designed as a suburb of the future. The mixed-use urban village concept is replacing old shopping centers. Instead of driving everywhere, residents can walk to shops, restaurants, and entertainment. Resort-style amenities are becoming the standard in new developments here. We're talking about pools that look like resort pools, clubhouses with professional-grade fitness centers, dog parks with agility equipment, and greenway systems connecting neighborhoods. There's also something really important here that we have to address. Chesterfield County has planned 2,084 affordable housing units for 2024 through 2029. So all this development isn't about pushing out existing residents. It's planned growth that keeps economic diversity. Mixed income neighborhoods are stronger and more stable long term. The sustainability focus is impressive in these new developments as well. Projects must use reduced impervious surfaces, which really comes back to the land disturbance and where water actually goes when it rains. Developers will have to implement flood mitigation strategies and be more mindful about water runoff. And these developers are following a lot of green building practices. And this isn't just good for the environment, it's smart for property values as well. Energy efficient homes cost less to operate, and better stormwater management prevents flooding issues. Green building materials last longer and need less maintenance. And at the same time that these green spaces are being thoughtfully developed, they're being developed alongside these trail systems that connect different neighborhoods, allowing for more community integration, making it easier than ever in the burbs to use your car less and less. And these public spaces are designed for all ages, from tot lots to senior walking paths. Plus, these outdoor spaces create connection between neighbors. You meet people walking dogs or jogging, kids make friends at the playground, and that sense of community is really what makes neighborhoods desirable. All of these improvements and amenities directly impact home values. Better infrastructure supports higher prices, quality schools attract premium buyers, and resort-style amenities justify higher asking prices. And early buyers benefit the most, of course. They get in before all of the amenities are complete and before that full impact shows up in the home prices. So what does this mean if you are considering a move? 32% population growth, over 1 billion in active development, a 37 million infrastructure upgrade, top-rated schools. These major developments will change the character and pricing of this entire area. Early buyers, this is your opportunity. The window is open now. And if you're considering a move to Richmond, we're here to help. We've been helping home buyers and sellers for over a decade with almost 200 homes sold every year. So feel free to contact us at amanda@cybertre.com and we'll get the ball rolling. Or use the contact details in the description below. But if it is Midlothian, then where in Midlothian? If you want the top 10 best neighborhoods in the area, we have a video right here you should watch. Thanks for watching, guys. That's a wrap. Until next time, we'll see you on the next one.